What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Crypto Beard. If you like staying in the know with everything that's happening in the crypto sphere and staying up to date and having that technical advantage, go ahead and click that subscribe button down below. With that said, let's get into today's video where we're going to talk a little bit about Kadena, this new chain that claims to be a contender with Bitcoin, Ethereum, and even Solana, saying that it's like Bitcoin on roids. Well, we're going to get into that. We're going to talk about what they're trying to accomplish, a little bit about the developers who came up with this and who they're connected to, why you should probably pay attention to this project. That said, let's get it going right now. So Kadena, funny thing, in Spanish, Kadena with a C means chain. Now, Kadena with a K is this project that's brought about by two former JP Morgan employees who have connections with legacy finance. These guys have built out, high frequency trading systems. They have experience in a lot of development in the traditional banking industry. And so their goal in building Kadena was to create something that would apply to businesses that would be actually scalable, and it's not much different than the goals that a lot of these different groups have tried to build on. I mean, if you look at their goals and what they're trying to accomplish, it's really not that different than Solana. However, they say that their way of going about doing it does so in a manner that it causes there to be less concern about centralization. However, I have some arguments there, and I'll make that. We'll make those later. Maybe save that for another video. But they argue that it is more decentralized than Solana and things like, and other projects like that are proof of stake. Kadena is a proof of work chain, but with certain caveats. For example, their goal is to lower transaction fees, and in doing so, they created this thing called gas station, where you can basically have gasless transactions. I'm not going to go into all the details explaining it, but that is specifically in applying towards gaming and things like that, where you're going to have all these transactions. In order to make it feasible and something that can be accomplished, you have to remove the gas, and so that's exactly what they've done with this. Now, do I know exactly how that works and what that looks like in real life? This is where I have issues with Kadena and people who are promoting Kadena, is because while Kadena does have high and lofty goals that we all can agree with, that we can all look at and be like, you know what, that is good, that resounds with me. That's a huge yes for me. What remains to be seen is its ability to accomplish those goals while under a heavy load. Kadena is currently, there's not really a whole lot of development going on in the blockchain. However, they have, I think it was back in April, the end of April, they secured $100 million in a grant funding further development. So we'll see what happens there with all the venture capital money that is coming in to hopefully grow the space. Now, I want to tell you this because I think this is interesting. Their goal for going about in raising money and bringing awareness and really marketing is to first go about it by establishing a gambling site called KDA Bet, or KDABets.com, I couldn't remember. Their goal is to create a sports betting software using Web3, using their blockchain. I think this is very intelligent. I think it's a great way to go about it. However, I will say this, I don't think it is enough of I don't think the project is going to be big enough to alter the flow of other projects coming to their environment. Because let's face it, guys, anytime you have a different programming language, Pact is their programming language, which is supposedly simpler, easier to understand, easier to write with, easier to bring existing Web 2 applications to Web3. I think that the goals are lofty and they're good. What I guess is my only drawback. What makes me pause before saying, oh, I'm going to go all into this and hold a bunch of it, is the fact that there remains to be seen this ability to do what they want to do. Now, proponents of Kadena will also be critics of Solana and saying, hey, look at the network shutdown, look at this. But my response to them is, yes, but Solana is doing the work. They're actually, they're in beta right now. So there is adjustments that can and will be made. And they're trying to uncover these issues. So Solana is already 10 steps ahead. These other projects, Ethereum, they're 10 steps ahead. And yes, while we can see glaring flaws in them, I think Solana, the biggest glaring flaw is really the lack of hedge against centralization. That's really it, because when you look at it and you say, oh, it costs so much to run a node, therefore basically it's easier, there's a lower amount of validators, but there is more validators coming on, and with the price being low right now, there is an opportunity for more nodes to come online, more validators come on, increasing the security and safety of the network. So while I understand what Kadena is saying, my question is can you foot the bill? Can your network actually support what you are claiming? They're claiming 500,000 transactions a second. Is it going to be smooth at that? What's the transaction length for that in reality, not just in theory? Let's see it in use. Let's see it under a load. And I know that that's kind of saying, well, you're asking a lot. And I know I am. I know I'm asking a lot. But to be honest, guys, there's only going to be a few winners in this space. Now, I know that sounds super negative, but I absolutely believe that Kadena could be a huge catalyst for growth. And part of the reason for that, the reason why I think that they could overcome those hurdles, is because of the massive amount of backing that they have from venture capital. Just getting $100 million to help development in your environment is a big deal. And being connected with JP Morgan is not something that should be overlooked. There is a serious ties to legacy finance, and with those ties, there's also maybe some cause for concern, but also some cause for reassurance in the fact that these guys have big financial backing. So we'll see where it's headed as time tells. But right now, guys, is KDA a good buy? Man, I gotta say, being down 93% at $1.72, it sure looks like it. It looks like it. Could it go down lower? Yes, absolutely. And I might wait. I might hesitate a little bit to see if we might be able to squeeze out a tiny bit better deal there. But if it even goes back to its previous high of almost $25, that's a fantastic investment. That is not something that you can overlook. So that's why we're bringing it to you guys. I totally believe KDA is worth a portion of your portfolio. With that said, this is not investment advice, so take those opinions and do with them what you will. Hey, I hope you've enjoyed this. I know I have. I'm looking forward to learning more about Kadena and getting more involved in this, just because I think it's interesting. I think all of these solutions are good. I am not of the opinion that one blockchain will rule the world. I think that we're going to live in a world of multiple blockchains, an internet full of blockchains, and so I'm excited about that and what the future holds. But with that said, guys, hope you've enjoyed it. We'll catch you next time. Peace.